Hello everyone, Ryan here, and I would like to show you a little project that I've been working on in my spare time. About 3 weeks ago, I began the construction of a corporate intranet, but I've taken it much further than that. Essentially, I've created a suite of tools for internal and external employees to use with the intent of better unifying all of ASP's very different job roles. I believe that the framework I've built is something that can grow with us as a company and make all of our jobs easier. I'd like to take a minute to show you some of the workflows within and later get your input on how we can use this site to our advantage. So we will begin by going to www.amerisurge.com, and when we get this in place, we will click on the employee login button to be redirected to our corporate intranet. Now that is not live yet, so we're just going to browse there directly. It's at https://core.amerisurge.com. And at this point, we're going to be redirected to our single sign-in portal. Here I can log in with my domain username and password. And I'll be redirected back to the intranet, completely logged in. So, to begin, I want to kind of describe some of the social aspects of this website because there's a lot here, and at first glance it just looks like Facebook. However, there's a lot of good reasons that we would be using this, and I want to kind of describe some of them. So, for example, an employee might be able to just start engaging with their employees by coming in here and posting on the wall. You can see it'll add it to the wall down here, whereas other employees can then comment. But even further than that, this wall is a full activity wall. So as you scroll down, you'll see that users have been modifying documents, they've been making friends, they've been making links on the website, they've been updating blogs, they've been doing different things, and all of that stuff is logged here, and anybody can comment on that stuff. Now, if we wanted to look at my own profile, I can come up to the top here under Profile, and it'll take you directly to a profile page that is very similar to what you would get on something like Facebook or Twitter. Now, there are other things here, for example, like notifications, private messages, different things that would notify you of what's going on and give you ways of managing employees if that's what you're doing. You can also see an employee directory up here where any employee that has logged into the website, they will be forced to fill out information about themselves, like their contact information, like their phone number, things like that. And they will be listed in this company directory, and this can be the single point of contact for anybody to go and get information about somebody if they need it. If we look under the groups here, this is probably the most strong part of this entire site. This is where anybody can create a group of their own. They can invite anybody they want to this group, and then they can manage those people in that group. For example, if I log into the information technology group here, you can see that only Dustin and I are members right now. But if we wanted to do something like, let's say, send a mass email to everybody that's in my group as a manager, I could do that. If I wanted all of my employees to get a daily or a weekly email summary of things that are going on within this group, I can do that. If I wanted to attach documents to this group, or if I wanted to set calendar dates, I can come in here and I can do that. And so there's a lot of really good ways for a manager to work with their employees, and I think what we'll find is even coding department and even collections department, they'll start creating their own groups to work with each other, and this takes some of the load off of IT as far as managing groups and access, and it gives employees a way of collaborating with each other. So we also have a community forum for collaboration. And this is pretty straightforward. This is just like any online forum. You can come in here, you can post a topic, and people can respond to that topic. Forums can be open or closed depending on how you want them to be. And any group that's created automatically gets their own forum to come in here. And this is probably where people will come to have more of a structured talk about things, as opposed to the social aspects, which are a little bit more informal. Now, if we look under the feed here, This is where management will be posting things in announcements, or regional managers might be coming in here and posting things under blogs. For example, I've posted something under development here outlining this project that I've been working on. And you can see at the bottom here, I've linked back to another cool feature our website has, which is a wiki. I will be keeping documentation here as far as technical documentation and how to configure certain things, how to manage certain applications, how our different processes run, and pretty much anything that we've already documented. Ideally, I'll be moving into this wiki. But even further than that, I think it might be a good idea for department heads to start listing things in here like job roles, like workflows, and different things like that, because what I see often is when an employee leaves, they were the only one that knew how to do what they were doing, and there's quite a process in learning that stuff. So maybe it would be a good idea for employees to actually document what they're doing in their jobs, get it into this wiki where we can keep all of our documentation, and then anybody can go and reference. Or not. If we want to restrict information from certain people, we can do that. So if we go over to the links here, you can see we have some links to the standard stuff, to email, to our Centricity portal. Pretty straightforward and easy to use. Now if we look under the docs here, this is actually something new. This is a document management repository, and this is a place where external and internal employees alike can get to the same documents. And you can make these documents public, you can make them private, you can make them specific to the groups that you're managing. You can also do something that's called revisioning. So these files actually have file history. So if somebody gets in here and changes a document and you know it was working at an earlier date, you can go back, you can look at the old versions of the file, and you can actually restore some of these old versions. There is also a directory of links. And this is where every single link that we use should end up. This should be a one-stop shop for assistants and other employees to go and get logged into something that they know they need to get logged into. I still see way too often assistants calling, trying to figure out where to go, people calling me, not knowing how to do certain things, and this is exactly where we should be putting all of our links. Now this is interesting too because other employees can upload links here, and we can rate them, we can comment on the links, we can remove them, we can make them specific to groups. Whatever we need to do, we can do. We've also got a calendar page here. And for the time being, all I have is scheduling calendars for the Illinois regions, but at a later date we might start adding vacation calendars and things like that in here. But you can see this is a very straightforward display of a calendar for the scheduled employees in Kankakee. Now, we have complete control over forms and things like that, so we should start being able to build out forms for smart scheduling and other things. You can see right now I have a submit an idea form created. This is very straightforward. If somebody submits an idea, it goes to IT, although we could change this to HR or whatever we need to do. But be thinking about other forms that we could use, because this is where they'll go. This is the wiki under documentation here, so I don't need to show you that again. But if we go to technical support, this is our standard technical support portal, where users have the ability of creating tickets, viewing their open tickets, and getting a few other things like that. And we also have locations, which is strictly contact information and nothing too special here. Like I showed you up under profile, there is your profile, but there is also things like activity, which will take you right back to the activity feed. You've got notifications, so if somebody has messaged you or if there's a group notification, things like that, you can get all of your notifications right here. You will also get them right at the top of the screen here above who's online. There's nothing in my inbox right now, and so I don't see any messages. And finally, there is a chat functionality down here that I intend to completely replace the instant messaging we're using already. I think this would be easier. It's automatically configured when employees log in, and it gives the assistants the same ability that we have to instant message people within the office. For example, say I wanted to message Justin here. He would be able to respond to that if you wanted to. If you wanted, you could also pop this screen out, move it to another monitor, and keep it open all day long. There's also chat rooms. So if an employee wanted to jump in here and create a chat room, let's say for coders, and they wanted to password protect it, maybe 1234, they could give that password to any other coders. Coders could log into this chat room, and they could have the ability to collaborate together all day long if they wanted to. And so I think that's about it. There's not much else to show here, although there's a lot of little nuances, so you'll want to jump in and take a look at yourselves. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But definitely while you're looking at this, be thinking about things like, is it difficult to navigate in any way, or is it confusing, or is it hard to find something? Is there anything you might add or suggest changing? And what are your thoughts on the design or just the style of the website? Is there anything you would change? I'm very interested in hearing your feedback, and I'm very much looking forward to going live with this.